Sorry about that. Anyways, welcome back to the episode 15 of the PCBC. We are in the first of 4 episodes this week. My goodness. We are starting the piece. It is finally here after 4 months of hard work and an exciting regular season. The PSAC Men's Basketball Tournament is finally here. Thank goodness. Hard to believe that we're already here. This season went by really fast, let me tell you. Anyways, let's look at our recap from Monday's game. Let's just get this over with, because I'm just completely embarrassed. Oh, and by the way, you may have heard the Price is Right losing horn sound. That is because IUP is my biggest dud of the weekend already. Yeah, I mean, that one was pretty clear. I mean, this one was about as easy as it was going to be. Let's talk about this unique game, we shall say. Clarion, coming into this game, had lost its previous 25 matchups against the Crimson Hawks. Well, that looks like another record has been broken, so that's unfortunate. Let's talk about this game. IUP led 31-29 in the first half, with IUP shooting 35.14% from the floor, 13 of 37, 25% from 3 of 12 overall in that category, and hit both their free throws. In the first half, Clarion shot 10 of 25 from the floor, 40%, 1 of 10 from 3 at 10%, and 8 of 8 from the free throw line at 100%. In the second half, Clarion took over and outscored them 33-28. Clarion shot 13 of 26 from the floor, 50%, 3 of 9 from three-point range, and 4 of 8 from the free throw line. IUP shot 12 of 28 from the floor, 42.86%, 3 of 12 from three-point range, 25%, and 25% from the free throw line. Overall, Clarion shot 23 of 51 in this game, 45.1%, 4 of 19 from three-point range, 21.1%, and 12 of 16 from the free throw line at 75%. IUP shot 25 of 65 from the floor, 38.5%, 6 of 24 from 3, 25%, and 3 of 6 from the free throw line, 50%. And ladies and gentlemen, Clarion's nightmare has finally ended. After a 13-year wait, it's finally over. Leading the way was Jason Harris, native of the Hampton Roads. Played in his 31 minutes, shot 6 of 14 from the floor, 1 of 7 from 3, 13 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists. Steve Kelly, in his final game with Clarion, shot 3 of 9 from the floor, 0 for 4 from 3, and 6 of 7 from the free throw line, 12 points, 2 rebounds. And Jeremy Thomas, the freshman out of Shippensburg, played at 23 minutes, shot 5 of 7 from the floor, only 1 of 3 from the free throw line, 11 points, 5 rebounds, 1 assist. Gavin Cote, in 25 minutes, shot 3 of 8 from the floor, 2 of 6 from 3, 8 points, 3 rebounds, 1 assist. And Justice Easter scored 2 points, shooting 1 of 3 from the floor, missing his only 3-point field goal attempt of the game, 7 rebounds and 1 assist. Clarion out-rebounding IP 39-35 in this category. Turnovers, Clarion with 11. IUP only had 6 in this game, so really good stat line to see. Let's talk about this game, shall we? Moving on to IUP. Garvin Clark played in all 40 minutes, shot 7 of 19 from the floor and 2 of 9 from 3, and had 4 attempts in the final 15 seconds to tie the game, missed all 4 attempts. Had 19.7 rebounds, 7 assists, with only 2 turnovers, which is way better than his last game where he had 6 turnovers with 30 points. I think it was like 25 points against Cal. Ethan Porterfield, one of the 4 seniors playing in this game, 38 minutes, 9 of 24 from the floor, and only 1 of 6 from 3. So he had a really bad off day in shooting, but still scored 19 points with 7 rebounds and 3 assists, and 1 block that ties him now with Darrell Webb for second all-time at 162. Josh Pudno, in 24 minutes, shot 3 of 4 from the floor and hit both his 3-point field goal attempts, with 8 rebounds, 8 points, and 2 blocks. 5 of those 8 rebounds were offensive rebounds. Bryce Radford shot 2 of 8 from the floor, 1 of 5 from 3, 5 points, and 1 rebound. KJ Rhodes in 28 minutes, 1 of 3 from the floor, missed his only 3-point field goal attempt. 7 rebounds with 2 points. And then 3 of those rebounds were offense, 4 defense. Jalen Stewart, the other guy who had all the remaining points, 3 of 7 from the floor, missed his only free throw and 3-point field goal attempts with 1 rebound and 1 assist with 6 points. Demir Brooks in 14 minutes had 2 rebounds. And Sarah Fern in 2 minutes had zeros all over the board. Clarion finishes the season with an 8th win in the regular season, 6-16 in conference play. IEP drops their 4th consecutive game, 16-12 on the season, 13-9 in conference play to finish out the regular season. With these the final 8 games of doing the predictions, another 6-2 performance. Overall, not too shabby. Let's go by the least important games to the most important games. We start with Kutztown and Shepherd, which I had as the worst game on the list. Shepherd beating Kutztown by 26. Bloomsburg and Westchester. Westchester beating Bloomsburg by 21. And with that, Kutztown officially punches their record, cements himself in this season as the worst team in the PSAC. They finished 4-24 with a record of 3-19 in conference play. Bloomsburg finishes the season at 3-19 in conference play, but they finished 5-23. So actually an improvement from last season. So they also improved from their record last season. I think they were like 1-26 last year or something like that. Cal and Edinburgh, KJ McClurk played in this game, scored 26 points. And as much as I really do not want to say this, he's most likely your winner for the PSAC West Athlete of the Year. Actually, maybe not. It's going to be close. It's either going to be him or Joshua Mahafa of Gannon. We'll talk about that game here shortly. Cal beating Edinburgh by 27, scoring 109 points. Again, McClurk with 26 in this game. Gannon and Seton Hill. This was a lot closer than I thought it was going to be. Gannon winning by only 9 points on the road in Greensburg. Seton Hill, with that loss, drops them to the 6th seed in the West. They will take on SRU because of the IEP loss. SRU automatically clinched the 3 seed in the West, and IEP remains at 4. Their opponent, the team that beat SRU on Saturday by 18 points, Mercyhurst, beating them 69-51. And yes, Maceo Austin did actually play in this game, and SRU still managed to only score 51 points. Really interesting to see. East Stroudsburg and Mansfield. Mansfield losing by 23 to the Warriors. No surprise there. The East Stroudsburg was going to finish the season on a good note. And actually, we're going to see these two teams face each other again later today. SRU, we already talked about IEP. They lost, so no matter what, they were going to be the 4 seed. They're taking on Mercyhurst. The number 1 matchup I had on the weekend schedule was Millersville at Lock Haven. And it'd be awesome to say this, but congratulations to my best buddy from BC3's. His alumni, Lock Haven, has clinched the number 1 seed in the East with a 90-79 win over the Marauders. With this, Lock Haven goes from 3rd to 1st. Millersville drops to 2nd, and East Stroudsburg drops to the 3 seed. With Lock Haven winning by 11. Matt Dade and Jaden Faulkner both combined for 44 points for Millersville. Isaiah Stewart with 20 points for Lock Haven. Justice Schultz, 18 points, 5 rebounds, 6 assists. I'm telling you, there's no one I would pick for PSAC East Athlete of the Year than Justice Schultz of Lock Haven. What a season he had. Man, I mean, looking at his stats, we're going to go to his stats real quick. If it decides to load. There we go. Justice Schultz finished the season as the number 2 scorer in the PSAC with 20.4 points per game. Looking at his numbers, 48.7% from the floor. And not a good 3-point shooter, looks like. But regardless, he is definitely my pick for the PSAC East Athlete of the Year. Congratulations to the Bald Eagles of Lock Haven for securing the 1 seed in the East. The 2 games I got incorrect, Mercyhurst beating Slipper SRU, no surprise there. I thought this game would probably go to Mercyhurst. And then, of course, Clarion beating IEP to end a 25-game losing streak. With that being said, let's talk about the nominations. We talked about there were 3 teams on my list for the biggest dud of the year. Those nominees are Pitt Johnstown, team that had just came off a 15-win 15-7 record in conference play last year and won 20 games last year. They finished the season 20-10 last season with a 15-7 record in conference play. They dropped badly. PSAC losses, 11. Difference between this season and last season and this season, 11 losses. The difference in that category. Overall, 6-22 this season, dead last in the PSAC West. A 14-loss difference between last season and this season. That is absolutely insane. That has to be on my list. I knew they were going to be a bad team, but I did not expect they were going to be a 6-win team this season. Secondly, IUP. Yes, I'm sorry to say that. IUP went 21-1 in conference play last season and went 13-9 this year, an 8-loss difference in a more competitive PSAC West this season. 16-12, an 11-loss difference in the regular season. They went 27-1. They were top 3 in the country for the majority of the season, as ranked as high as number 1 for like 3.5 weeks, 4 weeks last year. That is just, and now they're on a 4-game losing streak, lost to a very mediocre Seton Hill team that I think is okay. Lost to Cal, okay, that was a reasonable game. Lost to SRU, at SRU without their best player, Macedo Austin. Yeah, I mean, that was embarrassing. Garvin Clark only made it a little bit better, which I'm thankful for that. And then they lose to a team that basically had nothing to play for in Clarion, trying to hopefully end their huge losing streak. And now the only streak after this season that is still in play is IEP's winning streak against SRU in Indiana. Cal's 21-game winning streak, gone. The winning streak against Clarion, gone. IEP's winning streak against SRU is still intact for the time being. We'll see how it happens next year. And then finally, this one needs no introduction. The Shippensburg, the number 1 seed in the PSAC East last year. They were 16-6 in conference play last year and earned the 1 seed. This season, 4-18 in conference play. A 12-game differential, 12-loss game differential between last season and this season. 19-11 last year, 8-20 this season. A 11-loss difference in the overall. And was on a 5-game losing streak. Missed the tournament for the first time in a while, I would think. It's definitely been a while since Shippensburg's missed the tournament, I would think. In 2020, they were a 1 seed. 2019, they were a 3 seed. 2018, they were a 3 seed. 2017, they were a 2 seed. So yeah, we're going back a while since Shippensburg last missed the tournament. And they were 16-15. First time since 2014 that Shippensburg missed the tournament. That was when they went 3-23. Cheney was a freaking school in the PSAC East. And Lock Haven was still in the West. Oh, I know. Lock Haven, that was the year before. Never mind. Forget that. Forget that statement. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Wait, hold on. Hold on a minute. Mansell made it in. Okay, hold on a second. So Clarion has not made the tournament in a wow. Okay. 2011, 2010. Okay, 2010. Look, if I'm not mistaken, corrections for me saying that Mansfield had the longest active playoff drought. That actually belonged. Oh, wait, no, I'm sorry. It was Clarion. Clarion made it in 2016. So, yeah, 2016 was the last time Clarion made the tournament. So I was right, for the most part, on that. Anyways, besides that part, we already knew this one was going to be the winner. And the winner for the biggest dud of the 23-24 PSAC regular season goes to Shippensburg. What a shame to be a top team in the PSAC East and then completely fall flat on your face the following year. I mean, I know it happens, but I never thought Shippensburg would be that bad this year. Let's talk about their statistical season while we're at it. First game got embarrassed by West Liberty by 62 points. Their only PSAC wins this season were to Seton Hill by 7, Edinburgh, who was 7th in the PSAC West, Cheney, that doesn't count, Bloomsburg, who was garbage, 8th in the conference, and Kutztown. That was it. Bloomsburg, Kutztown, Edinburgh, and Seton Hill. They beat one playoff team in the PSAC this season. That's embarrassing. And they got embarrassed in like all their games. Lost to Lock Haven by 25, lost to Westchester by 43, lost to Mansfield by 17, lost to Shepherd by 20, lost to Westchester by 15, lost to East Stroudsburg by 55 points, lost to they got swept by Mansfield of all teams twice. Yeah, I mean that's pretty bad. I hate to be a pain. And they barely beat Wilmington, Delaware, for crying out loud. Team that's okay. And they beat a very mediocre Wheeling team from the MEC. So we look at the overall standings. In the East, Lock Haven and Millersville locked up the top two seeds in the East at 18-4 in conference play. Lock Haven finished 20-7 in the regular season. Millersville finished 23-5. East Stroudsburg locks up with the win from Lock Haven, dropped them to 3rd. Still finished 18-4 in conference play, 24-4 in this overall in the season. They will take on the 6th seed here shortly. Westchester, the 4 seed, 15-7 in conference play, 18-10 overall. Shepherd, 10-12 in conference play, 13-14 in the regular season. Mansfield securing the lock as a 6th seed, 6-16 in conference play, 8-19 overall in the season. Shippensburg, the biggest dud of the year, finished 8-20, 4-18 in conference play. Bloomsburg in 8th, 5-23 overall, 3-19 in conference play. And Kutztown finishes as the worst team in the PSAC for the 23-24 season, 4-24 overall in the season, 3-19 in conference play. Lock Haven and Millersville again locked up the top 2 seeds. East Stroudsburg faces Mansfield tonight, and Westchester takes on Shepherd. In the West, Gannon and Cal had locked up the top 2 seeds for a while. Gannon finishing as the number 1 seed, 26-2 on a 15-game winning streak, and they're 20-2 in conference play. Cal, 25-3 on the season, 19-3 in conference play. SRU, despite losing on Saturday, clinched the 3 seed thanks to IUP's loss. SRU 13-9 in conference play, 15-13 on the season. IEP 13-9 in conference play, 16-12 on the season, finishing 4th. Mercyhurst 15-15 and 11-11 in conference play. And then Seton Hill 16-12 on the season, 11-11 in conference play. With that, Gannon and Cal locked up the top 2 seeds, which we knew that for a while. SRU is facing Seton Hill tonight at the Morrow Fieldhouse, and IEP facing Mercyhurst at the KCAC. I would have a preview for this game, and I'm pretty much going to say it's going to be a short, brief preview because I didn't really write anything for it. But anyways, moving on. With that concludes the regular season for IEP and the PSAC. We now move to the PSAC first round. Our matchups all at 7 o'clock tonight. The number 5 seed, Mercyhurst, traveling to the 4th seed, IEP, at the KCAC. And Seton Hill, the 6th seed, traveling to on the PA Turnpike heading west from Cranberry, heading north to 79 to SRU. At the Morrow Fieldhouse, the 3 seed taking on the 3rd seed SRU. In the east, 6 seed Mansfield traveling down US 15 through Williamsport, heading east to I-80 for about 100 miles until you hit the Delaware Water Gap towards the Jersey border to take on 3rd seed East Stroudsburg. And then the final matchup, Shepherd, the 5 seed, taking on Westchester, who is the 4 seed in the East. Looking at the preview for this matchup, IEP and SRU, IEP and Mercyhurst. Again, 7 o'clock game. This is IEP's 38th all-time PSAC tournament appearance, and their 16th straight dating back to 2008. They are 48-24 all-time in the tournament, dating back to 1960. They've won 13 conference tournament championships. That's ranked 2nd all-time, only behind Cheney's 15. And they've won 7 of them under Lombardi: 2010, 2011, 2013, 2019, 2020, 2022, and 2023. In the last 35 home games in the tournament, IEP is 28-7, including 15-3 at the Kowalczyk. Again, they've never lost the overall playoff game that I've ever been to. That is also a fact. But I guess that's going to wait till next season, I guess. Overall, IEP has won 12 straight tournament games during its stretch of 4 consecutive conference championships. Can this quest for a 5-peat be done? It's a long shot, but it's doable. We'll see. They had clinched the playoff spot several weeks in the regular season, but entered with 4 straight losses. And among those losses was the 3-point loss to Clarion on Senior Day. They snapped a 25-game losing streak. We already knew that. IEP's 7th loss at the Kowalczyk, which is the most in a single year since it opened in 2011-12. Porterfield made his 129th career appearance on Monday. They were set to make his 129th career appearance on Monday. He was named in the Trevor Hudgens top 15 list last week, a career award that is presented to the player with the best 4 or 5-year tenure with a small college basketball level. Garvin Clark is the only player in D2 averaging 18 points, 7 rebounds, 5.5 assists, ranking 25th nationally in assists, 6 in conference scoring, and 6 in rebounds. Porterfield is 8th in career scoring, enters 8th among D2 active players with 1,871 points and 6 in rebounds at 869. He is 1 block from shy away from moving into sole possession for 2nd all-time on the list. Against Mercyhurst, Lombardi is 25-14 overall. Has a 25-14 record overall. The previous matchup we saw on February 7th, IEP lost 93-85 in double overtime. These two teams met in the PSAC Conference Championship game last season, a 54-53 thriller. So take a look at them. Mercyhurst 15-15 and 11-11 in conference play. Jeff Planutis currently leads their program with 17.4 points per game, good enough to be tied for 9th in the conference. His contributions are also first. He's first in steals at 1.6 per game and blocks at 0.4 blocks per game. He poured 35 points in the previous matchup against IEP. Gary Menkel, 30th season with the program, includes 21 seasons with Mercyhurst, 373 and 218 overall. Let's see. Already talked about that. Porterfield. Could this possibly, for Porterfield, Rhodes, Radford, and Putnam, could this possibly be their last game in wearing the Crimson Hawk uniform? I sure hope it's not. Because it's going to be an emotional moment if it does. Because these guys have worked really hard, and this has been a really awesome core 4 that we've had this season, and especially with Ethan, KJ, and Bryce, have done so much to help this program in the last couple of years. Speaking of Porterfield, he's the most experienced player on the roster. We knew that. 2-time reigning conference tournament MVP, the 2022 Atlantic Region MVP. He reached 1,500 points earlier this year. Game I was at. This season, he ranks near the top in nearly every statistical category. Points per game, 5th, 19.2 points per game. 3rd in rebounds, 8.6 per game. 2nd in double-doubles with 10. 4th in minutes per game, 37 minutes, 4 seconds. And 3-point field goals made, 5th in that category at 67. He is top 15 in program history in several categories and is arguably the most decorated player in program history. I already would say he's a top 3 player in program history, but we'll see what happens. His categories: 2nd in points, 2nd in field goals made, 6th in 3-point field goals made, 5th in rebounds, 3rd in blocks. He's actually tied for 2nd in that category, and is 4th in games played. If you look at his stats now, he's at 1,871 points. So for him to break the record, IUP would have to have a major run at the PSAC Conference Championship. He needs a grand total of 79 points to break the all-time record, 1,871 points at the time of this recording. 700 career field goals made. He is only 9 away from the all-time record. He's 6th in 3-point field goals made with 227, only 3 away from being 5th all-time, and could pass Anthony Glover Jr. Time will tell. Career rebounds, he's 5th at 869. He is 9 away from passing Lee McCullough for 4th all-time, and he's 13 rebounds away from passing Gary Lupick for 3rd all-time in rebounds. Career blocks, he's tied with Darrell Webb for 2nd all-time at 162. He is 4th all-time in games played. It will be 129 for Ethan Porterfield. And that is the statistical category on this. Overall in the season, we talked about the predictions. I will be doing predictions, but it's not going to count. I'm not counting it towards the regular season. I only counted it towards the regular season. With that 6-2 performance, I finished the season at 140 and actually, let me check that again. 140 and 43 on the season. 76.5% of the games I got correct. Let's talk about these 4 games and who I think has a chance to win them. Let's go to the East first. We'll do Mansfield at East Stroudsburg. In the first 2 matchups, East Stroudsburg won both games. They're 2-0 against Mansfield this season. East Stroudsburg won 81-79 at Mansfield before Saturday's matchup, in which East Stroudsburg beat Mansfield by 23. I'm going to pick East Stroudsburg on this game. I think we get a rematch with East Stroudsburg and Millersville. Shepherd, the 5 seed, facing the 4 seed Westchester. I'm going to pick... this is a tough game. Let's go back. Let's see their stats from this matchup. Let's go back. Right, so let's do this. Because I completely forgot I was going to do this. Baseball, now basketball. Here we go. In the regular season, Westchester went 2-0 in this matchup. The first matchup on January 10th, beating Shepherd's 82-72. And then these 2 teams met again in Shepherdstown, 86-82 in overtime. Westchester won. It was a really good game, back and forth. This is a close matchup. It's in Westchester. I'm going to pick Westchester to take on Lock Haven. I think it's going to be a really close matchup. This game could go either way. This is a really close matchup. The 4-5 matchups are going to be really close games, and it could go either way. In the West, Seton Hill at SRU. Let's go with Seton Hill. I think it went 1-1, if I'm not mistaken, because I know SRU lost to them in Greensburg. Yeah, they lost the first matchup. Seton Hill beat SRU 70-63. The second matchup at SRU dominated the game, winning by 22 points. It's a close game, but I think SRU is going to prevail. I think they'll face Cal. This game could be really close. It's really going to depend on if Ryan Mice is able to step up and do what he needs to do to hopefully pull off an upset, but it's at Morrow. I'm sticking with SRU to face Cal on Wednesday. Finally, our matchup, Mercyhurst and IUP. These 2 teams met in the regular season twice. IUP winning the first matchup at home at the Gavalchip by 66-54. And then in the second game at the MAC, Mercyhurst beat IUP 93-85 in double overtime. Two really good games. This is a really close game, man. I know Mercyhurst and IUP are always such a tough matchup in the playoffs. You thought that the regular season these two teams would face, it's always competitive in the regular season. It gets to a whole different level in the playoffs. I mean, we're talking 56-49 in 2019, 54-53 last season. I mean, these two teams obviously don't like each other, and it's going to be a close matchup again. I'm going to say it's going to be a really low-scoring game. I say like the winner has like maybe 65 points is going to be the winner. But time will tell on that. Oh, man. Mercyhurst coming off the consecutive wins. IUP is trending downhill so far on a 4-game losing streak. This is a close call. I'm sticking with IUP on this game. I think with the home field advantage, with the home court advantage, it's going to be a close one. But the question does become Jeff Planutis or Ethan Porterfield. One of them's moving on. One of their two legendary players for their respective programs. One of them will be moving on, and the other's career will end tonight. Who do I think wins? I think IUP wins in a very close matchup. I think it's going to be a tight game from start to finish. So that is what I have for my predictions. Let's a little bit about the CIAA tournament because we talked about it on Friday, but we didn't talk about the semifinals matchups. Lincoln beat Claflin 58-52. Fayetteville State beating Virginia Union 53-51. And then in the CIAA basketball tournament, never mind. Speaking of which, Steve Kelly is actually a grad transfer. So correction on that. Steve Kelly is actually a grad transfer coming in. He enters he has just announced he's entered the transfer portal. So we'll probably see a lot of stuff going on in the next couple months. So automatically, Steve Kelly is leaving Clarion. Going back to the CIAA men's basketball championship game, Lincoln facing Fayetteville State, the top seed in each division. Lincoln in the north, Fayetteville State in the south. Lincoln, Pennsylvania, the Lions win 58-52 to clinch the automatic bid into the Atlantic Region Tournament next week. And with that, Lincoln clinches its first basketball championship since 1948. That was the year my grandfather was born. 76-year wait is the 76-year drought of Lincoln is over. This small school about an hour away from Philadelphia, halfway between Millersville and Philly, finally will head into the Atlantic Region Tournament with the selection show beginning on Sunday. I think it's at 6 o'clock. So with IUP, they basically have to win this tournament to get in. I know, but a lot of things happen because Lock Haven last time we checked, weren't even in the tournament right now as the 1 seed in the East. But they have Millersville and East Stroudsburg in. So time's going to tell with this tournament and the MEC tournament coming up later this week with the 7 and 10 and 8 and 9 matchups on Wednesday. And then the quarterfinals begin for their conference tournament on Friday. The conference quarterfinals tournament for the PSAC begins on Wednesday with the first following the conclusion of tonight's first round. With that concludes this episode of the PCBC special of the PSAC tournament, first episode of 4 this week. Hopefully IUP will prevail. If not, we'll see what happens. But with that concludes this episode of the PCBC. I hope you all enjoy the rest of your beautiful day here. And we'll see you next time on Wednesday.